Hello there. So I've been watching a lot of video blogs in the last few days in an effort to improve mine. Basically, the first one was, it was the first one, and it was a little stiff and there were a lot of jump cuts, and so I've been trying to figure out how to make it better, and I've been watching a lot of vlogs over the years, long before I decided to make one, and some of the best ones, Z Frank or the Green Brothers, Hank and John, they have a secret, which is basically to make as many vlogs as possible. It seems to be the secret. If you do one like every day for a year, you get good at it. So what we have here is my scooter. It's a Honda Ruckus. How to get around in town here in Victoria, and I can get away with that because I don't have to go on the highway. Let's see if I can get this in closer here. Right, so the problem is it's a little cranky. Specifically the kickstarter and the battery. The battery, I think, is a result of it having been stolen twice, and the battery's not holding a charge right now, which means if I go to start it, it doesn't start. Not with the electric starter anyway, but that's okay because it's got this there's a wonderful kickstarter here which is supposed to crank the engine. Unfortunately, it sticks. It gets stuck, and I'll show you how to clean it so that you don't have to pay $100 an hour to get it cleaned. And you need basically one of these, a ratchet. It's like $5 at dollar store, whatever. And for this particular one, you need two sockets. You need a 8mm, these ones here, and this one right here is bigger. It's a 10mm for no particular reason. So I'm just gonna crank these off now. That's a 9. Why do I have a 9 in here? I'm not sure why the 9 was on there. Maybe this is a 9mm, not a 10. We'll find out. I have to do this fairly regularly. The kickstarter is designed to be used as a backup, not as the primary. So it tends to get gummed up fairly quickly. So about once a month I have to do this. So as a result, I don't put all the bolts back on anymore. Also, this is still hot, in case I burn myself later on, because I just got home from work. And I haven't given it a chance to cool off yet. Hopefully it will. That's 2. There are 4 that I put on. So I'm a computer guy, if you don't know me. Software designer, developer, business analyst. Which means I work with computers a lot, and computers don't have moving parts. I mean, there's the disk drive and the CD drive and the fan, and that's it. Everything else, solid state, electronics, quantum physics at work. Which means I wasn't very good at things with moving parts. I'm not a mechanical guy by inclination, or certainly not by training. This is a 10mm bolt. So one of the reasons I got this particular scooter as a vehicle, I mean, other than the fact that I can gas it up even with the island gas prices being $1.40 a liter, which for those people in the United States is about $6 a gallon, even with the conversion to American money. Is it cost me about $6 every 2 weeks to gas up. That is quite warm. I had, did I forget? I did. I had a rag, but apparently left it in the house. Did I miss one? Oh, there we go. So, the Kickstarter mechanism is the simplest part of this bike, and it's the only part I've mastered fixing so far. As I mentioned, I'm not super mechanical. But as I understand it, this is the drive belt. The motor here connects via the drive belt to the wheel here. And this part here also contains a transmission, which is a centripetal transmission. Gear ratio changes as the wheel goes faster and faster. But what we care about is this mechanism here. This is what gets gummed up. The fan puts out a bunch of dust, and that gums up this mechanism here. So the mechanism works like this. You kick it, and this turns this, and this goes right up against here. And that turns the motor, and the motor catches, and you're in business. So that's how that works. And basically all you have to do is clean it. So specifically, you take it apart. Now when I first had it, there was a wire. I think I've actually got it right here. A wire here that went around it and sort of helped guide it back into its hole, but it just adds more friction, and it doesn't seem to be necessary, so I've taken it off for the moment, but I've kept it in case it turns out to be necessary. So this is an amazing piece of engineering. It's not super complicated, but it is elegant, and it is probably from, like, the design is probably out of the Victorian era. So steampunk people, check this out. This is pure steampunk technology. What we've got here is two pieces. First of all, it sits here, so it's designed to spin. I'm not sure you can see that. Spin in this hole, and then it connects to. Get that? Yeah. Okay. So it connects to this via these grooves. Now that not only spins it, but it also drives it out of its hole. It drives it forward. That's why it's on an angle like this. And these teeth bite into the motor right here. Now it's only designed to spin one way. It's got angles on this teeth. So what that does is it cranks the motor with the force of the kick, and then once the motor catches it, these angled things here kick it back into its little socket, and as the thing comes back up, it drives it back into its socket as well. So it's, you know, it's got this gear piece, which is very elegant because it turns it and drives it up, and then it's got this angled teeth bit which bite into the cam of the, or whatever you call this part of the engine. So very elegant, very simple. I'm very impressed by the engineering, even though it probably hasn't changed much in the last 100 to 200 years maybe. But what you have to do is clean all the crud off of it, and then lubricate it. So to clean the crud, this is just toilet paper. Clean crud like that. Clean it out of the hole there. Now what I do is I take the toilet paper, I use paper towel. I just happen to be out of paper towel right now, so I'm using toilet paper. And you take lubricant. Now I use sunflower oil. It's ecologically friendly and it's cheap. The downside is it does break down faster than an industrial lubricant, so you have to do this more often if you are using this kind of oil as opposed to an industrial oil. Stay. Okay. And you just rub that in there, getting the oil all over, specifically this part on the bottom and in the teeth. That's where the friction is. And you can get more oil, excuse me, if you want. Get it in there nice and good. And that's it. That's all you have to do. You put that back in there. You recock it. So you gotta make sure it actually bites like that. It goes in, so that, like that, and then put it back on. And we'll edit out me putting a bunch of sockets back on, and then see if it starts. Now, one thing, you will get dirty. There's no way around that. You're going to get dirty hands, greasy dirty hands. So try not to touch your clothes when you're doing this. Let's see if it works. Key. And the important thing is not whether the engine starts, but whether or not this mechanism moves freely. It does. And it starts. Alright. So you get a good look at my pants. That would have cost, you know, at a shop that, you know, $100 an hour is not unreasonable for a mechanic, but that would have probably cost you $100. And cost me 20 minutes. And I got a free vlog out of it. So hope this was enjoyable. I'll see you later.